The unfinished Destination Crenshaw construction project, leaving residents, businesses, and churches to deal with myriad problems, including the loss of parking, restricted access, traffic congestion, and a lack of emergency vehicle access when it matters most. For years now, Procrastination Crenshaw has directly contributed to the loss of customer revenue for local Black-owned businesses and, sadly, has forced the closure of some businesses along this 1.3-mile corridor. For years now, churches have been experiencing decreased attendance due to the elimination of parking, and social service programs for vulnerable fellow citizens have been altogether halted. For years now, residents have watched their quality of life erode, and nothing has been done about it. If they think they can get away with treating Black folk like second-class citizens, they better think again.
You better think about what you're trying to do to me.
This town hall meeting is a reckoning, a public witness, an opportunity for impacted community members to share their experiences for the public record as we prepare to hold those responsible accountable for this enduring nightmare. So please join us Thursday, July 30th, 6:30 p.m. at Bethesda Temple Church, 4909 Crenshaw Boulevard. This town hall meeting is free and open to the public, but registration is required at kbla1580.com. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley, and as always, we welcome your feedback.
First things first.
Things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7 years. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First Black on Talk Radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DePrima go way back. Tad Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted Black and Brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the Queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DePrima. Go sis.
First things first.
Good morning, and good morning. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to First Things First. I'm James Farr. I'm sitting in all week for Dominique DePrima, the queen, out queening and doing her thing while she just, I don't know what she's doing, but she's not here. I'm here, and we've been holding it down, Miles and I, all week, and we've had some amazing guests. We're at the midway point. It is Wednesday. There's a heat advisory that's coming. We are almost in earnest into the hot August night. So, again, we can't stress enough. Make sure y'all hydrate out there, right? Get some water. Do your activities if you can at all. Do them early, right? Try to get inside and indoors before the sun, especially as Tavis and Dominique like to say, are more chronologically gifted members of the delegation. Y'all make sure y'all check on people. Folks don't have air conditioning. If you can, get somebody a fan that doesn't have one, but check in on your neighbors, check in on your family, check in on your community. But before I tell you about what we're doing today, hey, I want to definitely invite you to follow us on KBLA 1580 across all the socials. You can follow me at James Farr. I'm across all of the socials as well. And you miss any of the podcasts or episodes of the shows here on the station, go where you get your podcast, right? You can check in, and if you've missed any of the previous episodes here, they're usually available on YouTube. Make sure you check in, like, and subscribe. So today we're going to do it. It's a Wealth Building Wednesday, and we're going to run it similar, yet a little bit different. We'll get into the wealth part and the tech space. But in hour 3, Chris Bacchus joins us. We're going to talk about STEM and tech and youth, what's happening with the kids in Los Angeles. And then in hour 2, right, it's a tech day. Artificial intelligence is here, right? I want to talk with Isosa Oso, who is the founder of Onyx Impact, and they have a new artificial intelligence assistant, Ask Aisha. We want to get some of the backstory, right, into Ask Aisha, why that tool could be of use to you in the community. But in our first hour, joining me is a partner in politics. He is a civil rights attorney with more than 4 decades of practice, regarded as one of the nation's super lawyers. He has represented the mother of the notorious B.I.G., and amongst others, as well as some very high-profile civil rights litigations. He is none other than the attorney, Bradley Gage. Brad, good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thank you so much, James, for having me on. Hello, everybody.
Absolutely. So, Brad, it's I'm going to get to, why we're here today, right? Football season is coming up. There's some things that folks may need to be aware of and concerned about the next time that they go to see their favorite football team, right, here in Los Angeles. But before we get into that, Brad, I mean, it's 98 days until the November elections. You are a civil rights attorney, and I dare to say you know a little bit about the Constitution. Why is it important that people take this election perhaps a little bit more serious than they have other ones?
I think the main reason is if you are in favor of civil rights, you need to vote. The folks that are in power, starting with the president, are doing everything they can to eliminate civil rights. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And people often say MAGA really means Make America White Again. Mm. And anyone who is a person of color or concerned about people of color wants to ensure that there are individuals in power that protect civil rights. The president selects judges, the governor selects judges for the state, and they're the ones that either uphold your civil rights or eliminate them.
Mm. You've been practicing for so long, Brad. Have you, in your experience, have you seen anything like this current Supreme Court configuration? And some say they're ratifying, others say that they're gutting. Which one is it from your lens? And I'm speaking about the Constitution.
I think the Constitution is being eliminated. I think the rights of people of color are being eliminated. That police officers, if they engage in wrongdoing, are being protected so that they can go out and kill or hurt people a second time. I think it's awful. Mm.
Election coming up. You're a resident of the greater, let's just say city of Los Angeles, right? So you got any, who you leaning towards? What are your thoughts? We finally got down to 2 candidates, right? And eliminated the joke in the race. But it's the incumbent mayor, Karen Bass, and Los Angeles City Council member, Nithya Rahman. What does it look like for you?
I've been an open supporter of Mayor Bass for quite some time. I've had fundraisers for her, even in the primaries. I like the fact that she provides stability for us, experience, and that she has stood up to President Trump. Not to mention, she's done a good job with the World Cup when it was here in Los Angeles. And I know she's been very focused on fighting homelessness.
Okay.
So I'm for her. Not to mention, we went to the same high school and the same college, which always helps.
Is that right? That's talk about the degrees of separation and connection points. Brad, when we come forward, it appears that SoFi Stadium has been flagged for unnecessary roughness. Folks are getting ready to go back to football games, and there's concerts that happen year-round at the stadium. But digging through some files, I learned about some penalties that should be called on security at SoFi Stadium. Bradley Gage will give us an update on what's happening and what you need to be concerned about the next time you decide to go to a Rams or SoFi Stadium. Stay with us only on KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about.
Thanks for starting your morning off with a voice that speaks truth to power and the powerless, getting to the heart of what matters most in our community. This is where authentic conversation meets real action. From breaking news and politics to culture and community solutions. This is where you hear perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. This is where we come together, get informed, and make change happen. You're inside First Things First with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Good morning, sunshine. You make my day.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like public works supervisor.
Hey, this waterman is under a ton of pressure. Did you ever fix it?
Yeah, 3 layers of duct tape. Wait, should I have added a 4th layer?
This is a job for sponsored jobs.
This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Light a candle, pour some wine. Grab a roll, the soft kind for a little me time. Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear. Wavy edges for my rear. So let the softness caress your soul. Just relax, you're on a roll. Let her rip. Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear.
Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear has the same softness you love, now with wavy edges that tear better than the leading one-ply brand. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Number 14. That's where Talkers Magazine ranked Tavis Smiley on their heavy 100 list of the 100 most important talk radio hosts in America. Join Tavis weekdays, 9 a.m. to noon or 9 p.m. to midnight. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
This November, you'll decide who leads California. So shouldn't you hear directly from the people asking for your vote? Join us for California Voices, a political town hall and ballot forum, Saturday, October 3rd, 2026. Meet candidates running for governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, and other major statewide and local offices, including mayor of Los Angeles, city attorney, and LA County sheriff. Get clear, nonpartisan breakdowns of the propositions on your November ballot, both sides, no spin. And ask your questions directly, in real conversation, face to face. California Voices is brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the Empowerment Congress, giving you the information you need before you vote. Mark your calendar, Saturday, October 3rd, 2026, California Voices. Follow KBLA 1580 for details and download the KBLA 1580 app. Your vote, your voice. Be there.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DePrima right now.
Well, that's right. Well, you're not getting back to Dominique DePrima. You are getting back to James Farr. I'm sitting in for Dominique DePrima all week long on this midweek hump day, powering through the week and unpacking some of these conversations with you. I'm joined on air right now by attorney Bradley Gage. He's a civil rights attorney, and Brad, Southern California is hot, and folks are getting ready to go back into football season. But it looks like SoFi Stadium has been flagged for unnecessary roughness, not on the field, but in the bleachers with the fans and patrons that are attending the game. What is happening at SoFi, Bradley Gage?
Well, I have 2 different lawsuits for 2 different families where the allegations are that they... 2.
Okay.
2 different lawsuits by families where they claim that they have been abused and beaten unnecessarily by security guards at SoFi Stadium. The first family is a father-son. They're black, and they were targeted for watching football while black, we claim. The second family.
Wait a minute, Brad. Say that again. I don't think I've ever heard. You said watching football while black?
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
So, what I mean by that is that there was a fan who appeared to be white that was throwing beer on people in the stands rather than going after him. Our lawsuit contends that my clients were racially profiled and stereotyped because they were the black family in the area. They did nothing wrong. They've never been arrested, never had problems with the law. One of them plays football at a well-known college, and the other one works in the automotive business. Watching with their friends, they were the only two black people there. The rest of their friends were primarily Latino. Security guards targeted them, ended up beating them, and causing the father to need shoulder surgery because of what happened to him.
Wow. And so what, let me understand, because, I think, first of all, behavior at stadiums, personally, I don't care to pay these exorbitant prices, right, to have to actually be concerned about what my fan experience is. And so what is like SoFi saying? I mean, it obviously people are consuming alcohol, right? I mean, we see fights on the internet now more than ever in games. I mean, outright brawls. What is SoFi Stadium saying? What is their responsibility or obligation to keep its guests safe? And I mean, is it reasonable to expect? I know I'm loading a whole lot of questions in there for you, Brad, but I think you can handle it. Is it reasonably safe for someone to expect that part of the experience may be you may get beer thrown on you and the crap beat out of you by security employed by the stadium?
Well, obviously, the stadium and its security forces are required to keep fans safe. Mm-hmm. In this case, what we need is fans to be safe from the security guards. It's just like a police case where the security or police officer engages in excessive force, going after people unjustifiably and then escalating a situation. This was a situation where there was beer being thrown, which is unpleasant, and people talking. It's the security agents, we contend, that engaged in violence. Making matters worse, the friend of our family that we represent, he ended up getting sued by SoFi because they claimed that under the license agreement with the Rams, you have to control your guests. And so here, and the judge even made a comment about it, they're claiming that because the other individual, Mr. M, we'll call him, was the person who actually got security, he now is getting sued by SoFi, asking him to pay their attorney's fees after the alleged beating of our clients. So it's a very sad situation where they're adding the proverbial insult to injury. So,
and I don't want to make light in any way, right, around what you are and your client is alleging to have happened, but you can go to the game, your team can lose, but you can get your butt kicked. That sounds just ridiculous to me. Through your lawsuit and through your discovery, what does SoFi say about their policy? You mentioned that, and when you say through your license, right? I assume this is a season ticket holder, and part of the conditions or behavioral conduct or something that kind of is that fine print when you buy a ticket to any event, right? I mean, you can't go in there and just crash out. But when they say control the conduct, how does an individual control the conduct of someone else?
Well, that's not their job. It's not their responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
This was a group of individuals watching the game.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't even drinking alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
They were calm. They were peaceful. They were cheering. There's a video, taking a selfie video showing how they were just fans waving their towels, supporting the Rams. And some guy who was a Saints fan, not black, throws beer, creates a disturbance. That man was drunk, but security went after our clients because they're black. And that's just totally unacceptable. That's why we're going after them. It's not just...
Go ahead, Brett. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask, what is SoFi saying their policy is? Have you kind of, through your discovery, and perhaps, I don't know where you are in this process. I do know you filed on behalf of your clients, and as I said, this hasn't been heard in the news as of yet. So you are sharing this for the first time publicly right here on KBLA Talk 1580. But is there anything in their employee manuals or training process or procedures that instructs the security officers to intervene physically in assault as you and your client are alleging?
Well, that's an interesting question. We've taken the depositions of several individuals. Depositions are oral statements under oath where people have to tell the truth, just like in a courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
The security guards are giving wildly different testimony, what they can do, what their training is. It does not appear that they received any type of a policy training manual other than a one-page document showing here's the fan code of conduct. Nothing about uses of force, nothing about when you can or cannot touch somebody, how you're supposed to touch them, whether to de-escalate a situation or even how to do it. So there's a lot of concerns about the training and supervision of security guards, most of whom are retired police officers. So what kind of background checks they've done on the police to see any prior issues of excessive force is sort of a mystery.
You said most. Some are retired police officers. I mean, when I think of security, I think of mall security, right? I mean, I understand they have a job to do, and it's really they're ushers, right? They're guest relations. I don't know that we think of them as really securing anything. I think they're more so there for witness and observation. SoFi, we know, has technology, facial recognition, all the NFL stadiums now, and most major sporting events and even theme parks now. You can't go into them without your photograph being documented. So essentially, if they can track your spending around the stadium, they can certainly track you around the stadium. What is the NFL? What are the Rams saying? What are the ownership? Who's in this bag of a lawsuit in the allegations that you're making? Who's responsible?
Well, you bring up a very good point. The security claims that they don't have any videos of the incident. Supposedly, while there's videos of nearly every section of SoFi Stadium, it's their contention, which we find absurd, that in Section 231, there's just no surveillance cameras. And they try to claim they can't give where all the cameras are because of a security breach otherwise. But the reality is, if you have evidence and you don't produce it when you could have produced it, should have produced it, and really have it, then you can have a jury instruction that is concealment of evidence and have an instruction that can be considered as evidence of wrongdoing, which is what we're claiming here.
There's also another incident that you speak of, and we'll move the conversation forward in just a minute or so, Attorney Gage. So there's a second incident involving another family at SoFi Stadium that you are your clients and you are alleging were assaulted. What's the top line on that? I imagine the follow through mirrors what you're experiencing with the first case. But who is this family? What was their experience, and how does it differ from the other case?
Well, the second family was at a concert. They are Latino.
Mm-hmm.
The husband is a police officer still. He's a good officer. And they were enjoying the concert. Nobody knew he was an officer because he was in street clothes.
Mm-hmm.
They ended up tackling and beating the family. The husband was handcuffed. And then the allegation is while handcuffed, the security agents picked up his legs. What that does is it makes you topple forward. He could not put his hands out to protect himself because they were handcuffed behind his back, and he received serious injuries, was knocked unconscious. And then we also claimed that the wife, while she was in handcuffs, was strangled or choked by a security guard and otherwise treated roughly and injured because of their actions.
Wow. I don't know how I would have dealt with that. I don't know how anybody deals with that. That's the voice of attorney Bradley Gage, civil rights attorney. He's representing two separate cases where they are alleging that security at SoFi Stadium has been flagged for unnecessary roughness with fans and guests at the stadium, no less, right? We see the violence that happens at the stadiums all the time, but I don't know that they rarely end up in some sort of litigation. So good for them for coming forward and, seeking some redress. Brad, when we come forward, you mentioned good officers. It's not something that rolls out of my tongue often. I know there are good people who work in the profession, but sometimes show up not so good. Stay with us, Brad. We'll continue this conversation when we come forward. Only on KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
I'm Misty Jordan with BIN News Now. Ohio Republican Governor Mike DeWine says a plan to deport Haitian migrants is a mistake.
The Haitians who are living there and employed there, they came there to work. And they came there because there were jobs that were not being filled by other people.
He made the comment on CBS News, arguing the move by the Trump administration could hurt the state's economy and put lives in danger. Chicago police are warning travelers about recent vehicle thefts from O'Hare Airport parking garages. Authorities say the suspect looks for unlocked cars with keys inside and drives off. In some instances, the suspect has crashed through security gates. And 50 Cent's Power series is heading to Netflix after he signed a deal with Lionsgate Television. Power will be available to watch on Netflix in November. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers are still having trouble winning at home. Their losing streak at Dodger Stadium is now up to 4 after Tuesday night's 7-6 loss to Seattle. The Dodgers haven't won a home game since July 8th. The Dodgers pitching staff gave up 5 home runs last night. Tough to snap a losing streak when your pitchers can't keep the ball in the park. The LA Sparks have lost 6 straight in the WNBA. They lost to the New York Liberty Tuesday night, 113-109 at Crypto.com. The Sparks are now 10-17. First day of training camp today for the Chargers in El Segundo. Like the Rams, the Chargers are coming off a playoff season and have high expectations. The Chargers are doing something nice for their former fan base in San Diego. The team is practicing on the University of San Diego campus August 4th and August 5th. Chargers coach Jim Harbaugh got his first head coaching job in 2004 at USD. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So, I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-729-7070. That's 1-800-729-7070. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-729-7070. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about. KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Michael's Daughter Foundation is dedicated to inspiring youth and resilience through storytelling, arts, filmmaking, and enrichment programs for youth and families in under-resourced communities and system-impacted individuals. The Michael's Daughter Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit providing free and low-cost arts programs to youth and families from under-resourced communities, both system-impacted youth and those affected by the incarceration of a loved one. 1 in 43 children in America have a parent incarcerated. 70% of those children are expected to end up in prison. Through filmmaking, animation, theater, and writing, they help young people express themselves, build confidence, and imagine new possibilities. Beyond the arts, they offer financial literacy workshops, emergency support, and scholarships. Because thriving takes more than talent, it takes access. To learn more about the impact of Michael Daughters Foundation and how you can be a part of the movement, please visit their website, michaelsdaughterfoundation.com. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. 10 Toes In serves as a mentorship and domestic violence prevention program. They support, educate, and empower couples during and after incarceration. They assist male returning citizens to re-enter society successfully and to help them maintain a healthy relationship with their romantic partner. They offer a mentorship support group for formerly incarcerated men. 10 Toes In teaches its Intimate Relationships 101 curriculum at male prisons throughout the state of California. They host sister support group meetings for women who are intimately involved with incarcerated and formerly incarcerated men. 10 Toes In is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. To access their services or make a donation, please visit them online at 10toesin.org or find them on Facebook or Instagram. They are healing lives through relationships. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Well, not actually. You're waking up to James Farr. I'm in for the Queen Dominique DePrima, and welcome forward. We're joined in this conversation by civil rights attorney Bradley Gage. Just was catching us up to speed. I mean, pun intended, Mr. Gage. You gave us the replay of the unnecessary roughness that you and your clients are alleging against the security and the management and the ownership of Southern. Excuse me, I have this other company in my head that I can't get out of. SoFi, but it's another SO utility company, right? And speaking of, and we'll get back to some policing things because I know you have represented some clients, some officers, who you say are good people. Jury's still out, but if you say it, okay, I guess so. You've also worked with families, representing them regarding their lawsuit and litigation against, since it kept jumping out of my head, Southern California Edison and the Eaton Canyon fire, which took place last year in January. How is that process with your clients? How are they doing? Any updates you can share?
Well, the fire is a very distressing event. You have two different kinds of claims that are alleged. One is against Southern California Edison for its transformer allegedly starting the fire. And the way that Edison has tried to protect itself, they're now trying to push through legislation that would reduce the rights of victims to payouts, reduce other types of recoveries, which is a travesty in and of itself. So first they destroy generational wealth. They deprive families of their homes. They kill some people. They terrify many. Then they try to defend themselves and blame others. But I think, at least we contend, that's gone nowhere and they're at fault. So now they're switching to politics, trying to cut down recoveries for families, which will leave them potentially without being able to repair their homes or replace their homes, and will leave them without any types of compensation for all the emotional distress that they have from loss of family heirlooms, memories, and lives. It's terrible. So we're going after them. We're here to protect the individuals that lived in Altadena, that have lost everything or some things, and we're aggressively pursuing them with court litigation, going through what's known as discovery, answering written questions, things of that sort.
Well, as you know, Bradley Gage, KBLA Talk 1580 has been on the ground since January 7th. I can't even do the math of how many consecutive weeks that has been. But through my program, Conversation Live, we've chronicled as the show of record the stories of Altadena and community. And what was interesting, a few weeks ago, I was at a community event, and a nice lady approached me, and we end up sitting at a table next to each other, right? And I introduced myself, and she says, I know who you are. I'm a retired police officer. Short of jumping out of the seat and changing my seat, she also went on to say that you also are representing other retired police officers in that. But, you brought up good officers. You filed lawsuits against the city of Pasadena and Pasadena Police Department. We've seen this theme come out of the police department for folks paying attention of probably a month or so ago. There was a video that circulated around the internet that the chief of police, Eugene Harris, characterized officers unholstering their weapons, pointing them at each other, and then one of the officers discharges their weapon, and the chief wants everyone to believe that it was an accidental discharge and call it horseplay. Give us a little bit of backstory how we get to this. I think I can say right? The horseplay that the chief is describing. What's happening with some of the lawsuits of some of the good officers that you say have been discriminated against? I'll let you tell it.
Well, we represented one officer who the allegation is that he was choked. My officer client was black. The individual that was accused of choking him is a white commander, and the department characterized that as horseplay. We have resolved that case, settled it, got him money. Then a second case that's still ongoing, where our client, he is from Sri Lanka, so he's dark complected, and another lieutenant, who I believe is white, we claim kicked him, assaulted him, kicked him so hard that he needed to have surgery. The first officer that was allegedly strangled was disabled for more than a year and unable to work because of the neck injuries. So you have two incidents that we claim are criminal assault, both of which were characterized as horseplay. A month ago, one officer draws his weapon on another officer in the police parking lot, which was caught on video. Again, it's been characterized as horseplay. It's completely unacceptable. Officers are taught right from the beginning in the academy, even children that handle weapons are taught this, and that is You always assume the gun is loaded. You never point a gun at anyone, whether you think it's loaded or not. Why do you not do that? Because incidents happen, guns go off, bullets fly, people die.
In your experience, and when we look at that video, of course, we're limited to what we see, which does not mean there is not more to see. The video was released without audio. The chief of police held the video back for nearly a year. This event was originally reported to have happened on September 7th of 2025, which usually when it's an officer-involved shooting, that triggers a critical incident report. We don't see any of this until, as the chief said on record, they had completed some form of an investigation. I know for fact that that's not true. I know for fact the only reason why that video was released is because it was requested by a member of the media. And so now that we see that, if you or I, you're working somewhere, can I, I wouldn't, but could I pull a gun and, shoot a coworker, whether intentionally or accidentally, and not expect to face some level of prosecution? Firing the officer is the least of the things, right? But can folks reasonably expect to go, because we're talking about, this conversation has drifted into workplace safety. Folks go to your job, you can't beat them, and folks shouldn't have to go to work and fear that they're going to be shot. Would you or I be prosecuted?
Absolutely. If you shoot someone and you kill them, it's intentional, it's murder. If it's unintentional, it's manslaughter. It's still a crime.
Mm-hmm.
Because the intent may reduce some of the charges. But here, the allegations are that this is not an isolated incident, that the quick draw McGraw attitude of officers pointing their guns at one another is frequently being carried out in the police department. It's not a one-time event. It's been known, it's been tolerated for years. It's deadly, it's dangerous, and better actions, quicker actions should have been taken by the department.
I mean, that doesn't make sense, Attorney Bragg Gage. You're alleging that this is a behavioral pattern amongst officers?
That is our claim, and this whole finding of horseplay minimizes dangerous criminal activity, which has harmed police officers who are innocent and just happen to be victims just like the rest of us. And you have to wonder, if the police are injuring one another, what are they going to do to our community? How safe is our community from police officers who are allowed to get away with horseplay, which, frankly, I would call it a different type of horse that were on the radio.
I know, the jack, right? And for the record, delegation, I went and actually spoke with some horses, and they did not appreciate that characterization of Ronquist play as horseplay. They said that is pig behavior. That's what the horses told me anyway. And so what's a likely outcome? And I recently, again, just crawling the internet algorithm, there was a deposition that was posted online. I'm not even sure who it was posted by, but it was an independent investigator hired by the city, was being deposed by a Pasadena-based attorney, Alan Romero, and then I also heard that you were present for that deposition. But in that deposition, the nearly 3-hour deposition that I read the transcript cover to cover, watched the entire video, one thing that stood out is that the independent investigator is alleged in that deposition involving one of these horseplay cases that he was instructed by the city to remove his findings from that report. I want to really understand what that means. What was I watching? What do the findings, what would it have revealed? When we come forward, Brad, we'll pick up that part of the conversation, right? What does it mean when city officials are instructing independent investigators that are actually represented by the same law firm, no less, that is representing the city and the officer. I am so confused about this web of what could be considered deception and corruption. You'll help me understand it. That's Attorney Bradley Gage. We're talking about some policing issues, use of force issues at SoFi Stadium. Stay with us only on KBLA Talk 1580. We got your black.
You can't fix what you won't face. And we face it every day. This is KBLA Talk 1580.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Are you feeling the heat? LADWP can help you stay cool this summer and save money. Through the Cool LA program, eligible customers can receive instant rebates of up to $275 on new portable, window, and wall air conditioners. Shop the Cool LA marketplace today and beat the heat and save. Learn more and apply at ladwp.com/cool-LA. That's ladwp.com/cool-LA.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. At the heart of the Al Wooten Center's mission for good citizenship and academic excellence is a desire to ensure that every student avoids the kind of lifestyle and overcomes the kinds of challenges that led to the murder of Al Wooten Jr. In 1990, founder Myrtle Fay Rumpf opened the center in honor of her son's life. In 2026, they are serving more than 300 students in grades 3 through 12 annually online and on site at their youth center and other sites in the South LA area. The Al Wooten Jr. Youth Center takes a neighborhood approach to the revitalization and empowerment of a community in crisis. The Wooten Center provides free after-school and summer programs to help students in grades 3 through 12 attain grade-level proficiency and promotion, high school graduation, and college and career access and success. The Al Wooten Center focuses on academics, STEM, the arts, and so much more. Join them for an enriching experience that sparks creativity and nurtures young minds. Tap in at wootencenter.org. That's wootencenter.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You deserve a treat, a $10 bill credit treat. If you get an LADWP paper bill but go online to pay it, stop! Break up with your mailbox. It's time to go paperless. With paperless billing, bill reminders come straight to your inbox. You can access 7 years of past bills in your online account, and you don't have to deal with paper clutter piling up. It's a win for you, your time, and the environment. $10 bill credit for new LADWP paperless billing signups. LADWP.com/paperless.
We knew you'd stick around. This is LA's home for progressive talk radio. Be heard. Welcome back to KBLA Talk 1580.
That's right. Welcome forward. Procrastination Crenshaw Town Hall, right? Destination Crenshaw is behind schedule, years behind schedule. Residents, businesses, churches, artists, and other stakeholders have been questioning, and they deserve real answers, not just promises. If empty promises poured concrete, this project would have been open years ago. This week, join us at a community town hall about the delays, the timeline, and what happens next for the Crenshaw corridor. This public hearing is your chance to get on the record and speak directly to the people making these decisions at City Hall. Join us this Thursday, July 30th, 6:30 p.m. at Bethesda Temple Church, 4909 Crenshaw Boulevard, between the construction crawl and the parking spots, it has eaten alive. Rideshare is now less a suggestion. It's more of a survival tactic around here. So please rideshare if you can. Now, if you do decide to drive, there is parking at the Chase Bank on the southwest corner of Crenshaw Boulevard and Vernon, and Bethesda Temple Church will provide shuttle service. If you cannot join us in person Thursday night, this public hearing will be broadcast live on radio and live streamed on KBLA Talk 1580. Our town hall warm-up will be hosted none other by Dr. Nicordelai Corte. That starts at 6 p.m. Mr. Tavis Smiley will be moderating the town hall at 6:30. Don't miss it. Your culture, your community, your voice. And I almost tripped coming into the station this morning, Brother Miles, because of the construction. I didn't tell you, Miles, yesterday I escaped an unhoused pit bull, but that's neither here nor there. Attorney Bradley Gage is on the line, and we're having this conversation. Brad, we're getting close to that point where we got to land this thing. But I wanted to continue that conversation. You were talking about this horse playing. Sounds like a series, right? I mean, not just one-off stupid things cops do. Sounds like a whole series of things. I was referring to the deposition of an independent investigator hired to look into these allegations. You and your co-counsel, Alan Romero, were in a deposition, and the independent investigator, after a long, lengthy deposition, seems almost like he forced himself to admit that he had been instructed to remove findings from a report. And when asked, is that a common practice, he answered yes. For a layperson like me, what did that tell me?
Well, first, I'm not sure how that deposition got onto the internet, but with respect to what was said, if someone is supposedly independent investigating wrongdoing for any company anywhere, police departments or otherwise, and the department is allowed to influence a so-called independent investigation or its findings, how can that be independent?
Mm-hmm.
The only reason to call something, quote, independent, end quote, when the employer has the ability to change it, is to try to deceive individuals thinking that this so-called independent person is making findings. Usually, those findings are in connection with employment matters like discrimination, harassment, retaliation. And all too frequently, those changes in general will be the finding of wrongdoing against the company or police department to change it to no wrongdoing, or finding some allegation is sustained and making it not sustained.
So
the implication...
hypothetically, Brad, managing my clock, right? Hypothetically, right, we don't know what those findings found, right? They're not there. He admitted it. But hypothetically, can you kind of paint a picture of an example, right? What would those findings hypothetically presented in an incident like this? Of course, we don't know it for fact because it can't be verified, but I'm trying to inform the audience on when they are doing these investigations and it's independent and it's findings and it's not found, what was lost?
Basically, it's always going to be the same situation. Someone who's supposedly independent finds discrimination, finds harassment, finds retaliation, and the employer tells them, change that. We're paying you hundreds of thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars, depending on the investigation. You want to keep investigating, making all this money, help us out. And that is how it would hypothetically and generally work. And so what it does is it allows perpetrators, harassers, to keep victimizing individuals that work in places and fails to correct the wrongdoing, which is a legal requirement.
Wow. And this is the same department that you have represented other officers from that department who have become whistleblowers who have alleged that there is an internal gang in the Pasadena Police Department. I don't have enough time to completely unpack that, folks. Y'all can go Google it. I've written about it. And so is this a part of the culture of that department?
Yes, that is our allegation, that there is a culture in the department that needs to be cleaned up, and we're doing our best to do that every day.
Wow. I guess the City of Roses Police Department does have thorns on it. That's Attorney Bradley Gage. Brad, if people want to keep up with you, if they have legal questions, how do they reach out to you?
You can contact me by email, brad@bradgagelaw.com. You can go on my Instagram at Brad Gage Law or Attorney Gage, and you can call the office at 818-340-9252, 818-340-9252, bradgagelaw.com. Thank you so much for having me on, James.
Absolutely, Brad. You keep up the fight out there, and you know, I know that you work out a lot, so you know, make sure you do that in an appropriate hour, because we're headed for a heat wave over the weekend. Thank you so much, Brad, for taking some time out of your morning and joining us. All right.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you everyone for supporting KBLA and James Farr. I appreciate being on this program with you.
Absolutely. You're too kind, Brad. I'll see you out in community sometime in the traffic as we normally bump into each other. Hey, folks, coming up in the next hour, right, I'm really excited to jump into this conversation. Artificial intelligence is it's everywhere. We can't get away from it. It's better perhaps for us to lean into it. And for those of you who are anti it, I promise you, it is integrated into so much of our daily lives every day. You use autocorrect, you use spell check. That is a form of artificial intelligence. But trust is always the issue with the platforms. And I've had the opportunity to be part of a journalism cohort. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that. Stay with us. We got the founder of Ask Aisha, y'all, the new AI chat assistant. Stay with us only on KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Misty Jordan with BIN News Now. Ohio Republican Governor Mike DeWine says a plan to deport Haitian migrants is a mistake.
The Haitians who are living there and employed there, they came there to work, and they came there because there were jobs that were not being filled by other people.
He made the comment on CBS News, arguing the move by the Trump administration could hurt